Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi and our online audience tuning in around the world through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could be with us, too. We're excited to welcome Yutaka Takeuchi to our program today. He's an actor who's been able to do what he loves both for television and for film. He has a new project out this year called Drive All Night. We'll talk to Yutaka about that and what it's been like for him to see the early response. There's even a game for this that's free for you guys. We'll tell you about that as well as how you all can stay connected with Yutaka throughout this year. Yutaka, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Well, glad to do it. So I want to talk about beginning this year. What has it been like for you, Yutaka, to be able to see the response to Drive All Night so far?
Well, actually, the movie hasn't been screened yet, so not so many people have seen the movie yet. I'm excited to hear this weekend, when it's screened at Snake-Quest. But so far, I have been interviewed, and I am really excited. Really excited. This is, I'd say, the first feature film for me to play the lead. So it's a big step, and yeah, I'm very excited.
And it's a very interesting film in that there is a lot of layers to it, Yutaka, as you know. I mean, there is the drama aspect, but also the conflict, right, of good and evil that shows up, in so many different great projects today. Is this one of the reasons why acting appeals to you? Because you're able to bring to life different types of characters?
To be honest with you, it was a very interesting timing when I received a script from Peter Shea, the writer-director, through my manager, because I was interested in driving with Uber somehow, and it took me a while, but then finally I started driving with Uber, and a few days later, this script came in, and I read it, and the part that he asked me to play was a taxi driver. So I feel like, okay, well, I'm sure I'm meant to do this. And after that, I just decided to do it. I committed to it. Right.
And that commitment, I think, even comes through even from the response to the trailer for it. And as you mentioned, it'll officially make its debut in an interesting way, and not only with a film festival, but also streaming. I mean, that brings us to this past year that we've had, though, Yutaka. Where, so much of your industry has been shut down. What has that been like for you to be able to kind of stay motivated throughout this past year?
Oh, me personally, I consider myself not only as an actor, but as a storyteller. And I happened to find a story that I got really interested in it. And I have been actually writing the screenplay right now. I saw a documentary a few years ago, and then I met the guy this documentary was about, and I got his endorsement. I started writing the story. So it's been really, in terms of acting, there not so much has happened, but in terms of telling the story, I constantly working on it. So that's been really, helping me to deal with this situation right now.
Right. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it's interesting that you mentioned being a storyteller. In fact, anyone, who follows you on Instagram, and there they can find you at Yutaka2011. There in your in your description on Instagram, that's what you have, storyteller. When did you realize that storytelling was something that you wanted to do?
Okay. First of all, so I'm originally from Japan, as you might be able to say. I I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life, and until really 22, 3, and I happened to watch this award ceremony on TV and where Will Smith was on, and he received the award, and he gave a speech, and that speech really inspired me, and it made me think that, okay, that looks really fun. To be an actor in Hollywood, that must be fun. That's the really, I thought, and I decided to become an actor. But I didn't know anything about acting or entertainment business, even English. So, however, I decided to come and then came to Hollywood, and I started out without having much knowledge about anything. But I landed on The Last Samurai, and that was the beginning of my career. And after a few years, I came to realize, okay, in order to be better, in order to become a better actor, I need education. I need to educate myself. I need to learn what the acting is, or how everything works, kind of thing. And then I found this teacher named Alice Carter, and she, with her, I really learned so much about not only acting, but as I said, being how to be a storyteller. And since then, I always consider myself a storyteller.
And you've been able to tell so many amazing stories, Yutaka, and to work with so many individuals, who are also crafted, in their craft. I want to quote something from your Instagram. And again, for those who are not following Yutaka, you can find him at Yutaka2011. There's a post you made last year that caught my attention. For one thing, we were looking for photos of you to use to promote this segment, Yutaka. But I came across a post you made on July 3rd, 2020, and this is what you wrote. Be true to yourself. I know it's not always easy to do, but I think it's one of the most important keys to fully enjoy your life. Now, that is not easy to do, especially in your industry that is about pretend and make-believe and fiction. How have you been able to do it? How have you been able to stay true to yourself?
Well, I think I'm doing my best. I can't say 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. And I'm always myself. I wish I could say that, but I'm not sure. But I do my best to be true to what I really feel, especially in terms of expressing myself. I really try to be true to myself. And as you said, it's not really easy, especially like being a Japanese or foreigner in here, and that part is also making it a little bit difficult. But still, I do my best, and I may still not be there, but I think I am closer than I was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the hope for all of us. I think that we would hopefully do that. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Yutaka Takeuchi to our program today. We're talking with him not only about his acting journey, but the brand new film coming out this year called Drive All Night. We're going to also remind you how you can stay connected with Yutaka as well. So I want to talk to you more about Drive All Night, because I think, one of the things you mentioned was this is, your first lead film. What was it like for you to see yourself on the poster for that film?
It's good. It feels good. Definitely, good, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, too, as people are able to see the story, and again, it is an interesting story and dark in many ways, but I think so real in so many other ways. I think it really shows, how life can change for all of us, right? And how the power of choices, I think, is another big thing here. The power of choices. I mentioned that it's going to be debuting not only as part of a film festival, Yutaka, but also being able to be seen around the world. What has that been like for you, too? Because I mentioned there's also a game. You talked about it on your Instagram. What has that been like for you to see how they're using all these platforms to make it available to the world?
I didn't expect it. I mean, obviously, this is really super ultra low budget movie, so I wasn't informed in advance that what they were going to do with the movie in terms of marketing and promotion. But it became the app game, and being interviewed and everything is really unexpected. I'm actually surprised, but I'm enjoying it. So glad.
Good. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this question because you said that. Do you feel like everything else, especially over the past decade, Yutaka, that you've been able to, all the work you put in, do you think it has led you to moments like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Every single choice that I made, whether it was bad or good, without any of them, I wouldn't be here anyway.
Yeah. And I think that just shows all of us, how important giving our best to everything is. I love the fact that even as you were talking here, and you're being very modest when it comes to your career. I mean, your career is so impressive in the projects you've been able to work on. And I just mentioned the past 10 years, even though your career goes farther than that. But especially looking at since 2010, Yutaka, you've been able to be a part of some amazing projects. Has that surprised you that you've become recognizable to people? Like, oh, yeah, I remember you from this project or that project.
You mean are you asking me what specific project it's been makes me being recognizable?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, obviously the Marvel's Defenders from on Netflix. That's it's a huge project with a lot of money, and it has so many people have seen it all over the world. But besides that project, there's another indie film called East Side Sushi, which was entirely shot in Oakland. And that movie, I gotta say, I still receive. And we filmed in 2012, and it came out in 2014, and I still receive messages from all over the world. Until recently, it was on Netflix, and so many people really they saw the movie and they really loved the movie as well as my part, and they personally sent me a message, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. What a great thing. So here we are, in the beginning of a new year. I know you're excited about this film, Drive All Night. What else are you looking forward to this year, Yutaka?
I don't know what I can. I want to know what I can look forward to. But I mean, definitely, this film festival is the beginning of the film circuit, a film festival circuit. So I hope it'll be picked by many film festivals, and by the end of this year, well, as soon as possible, I'd like to attend the film festival in person and then see the movie with a live audience and feel the vibe. That's really a fun part for me. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, look, I know a lot of us are for sure, and I know we look forward to being able to see what's coming up next for you. I know it's going to be great. Again, everyone, we've been speaking with Yutaka Takeuchi to our program today. We're going to be letting you guys know here in just a bit, again, how you can stay connected with him. But as we mentioned, beginning on March the 20th, you all can begin to watch Drive All Night. So make sure you guys do check out the link that's with this particular show to be able to see how you can be able to do it. And as I mentioned, Yutaka is on Instagram at YUTAKA2011. Is that the best place for you? I know you're on Twitter as well, but is Instagram the best place for you, Yutaka?
I would say yes.
We'll make sure that we link that for our iHeartRadio audience as well to make it easy for them to find you. And thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the show again.
Yes, I'd love to, and thank you very much. Really, I appreciate it.
Hey, you're more than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.